I- Uniting Lesson 13. Standing in all the will of Elohim. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of Elohim and Messiah Yeshua for you. Paul worked with various collaborators, and he recognized the work of those who wholeheartedly dedicated themselves to maintaining and strengthening the churches. At the end of the letter to the Colossians, Paul sends greetings from his collaborators and greets the faithful brothers of Colossae. It also interjects Epaphras' fervent desire that you may stand firm in all the will of Elohim, mature and fully assured. The emissaries, Tychicus and Onesimus, those of the circumcision, Aristarchus, Mark, and Jesus, the instructor, Epaphras, the beloved and the worldly, Luke and Demas, church leaders, Nympha and Archippus, the emissaries. Tychicus will tell you all the news about me. He is a dear brother, faithful minister, and fellow servant in the Lord. He is coming with Onesimus, our faithful and dear brother, who is one of you. They will tell you everything that is happening here. In addition to evangelizing in the most important cities of the empire, Paul wrote letters to maintain contact with the churches or to encourage those he did not know personally. These letters were sent through beloved and faithful brothers. Tychicus. On Paul's third missionary journey, he accompanied him to deliver an offering to Jerusalem. He assisted Paul in Rome and delivered the letters to the Ephesians and Colossians. When Paul was released, he could have replaced Titus in Crete. During Paul's final imprisonment, he was sent as pastor to the church in Ephesus. Onesimus, a slave who ran away from his master, Philemon, he was converted during Paul's first imprisonment in Rome. Paul sent him back to his master with a heartfelt letter, urging Philemon to treat him with Christian affection. Together with Tychicus, he delivered the epistle to the Colossians. Those of the circumcision, these are my only fellow workers for the kingdom of Elohim, who are of the circumcision. They have proved to be a comfort to me. Paul strove to break down the walls that divided the church. He surrounded himself with collaborators from all over and from diverse backgrounds. Jews and Gentiles, Asians and Europeans worked together in harmony. His vision was to achieve a united church that worked towards a common goal, the preaching of the gospel. Aristarchus, he was a native of Thessalonica. He had trouble during the riot in Ephesus. He accompanied Paul to deliver the offering in Jerusalem. He was imprisoned with Paul in Rome and sent greetings to the Colossians in Philemon. Mark, the nephew of Paul's first companion, Barnabas, deserted the mission in Pamphylia, and Paul refused to take him on a second journey. He accompanied his uncle and became a useful evangelist for Paul. Peter treated him like a son. He was the author of the Gospel of Mark. Jesus, all we know about him is that he was Jewish, that he was known by the name Justus. The instructor, Epaphras, who is one of you, a bondservant of Messiah, greets you always, laboring fervently for you in prayers, that you may stand perfect and complete in all the will of Elohim. Epaphras. He instructed the church in Colossae, making the gospel widely known to them. Paul presents him with three titles: dear fellow servant, bondservants of Messiah, and fellow prisoner. Epaphras helped spread the gospel in Colossae, Hierapolis, and Laodicea, churches he dearly loved. Along with Epaphras' greeting, Paul includes his wishes for the Colossians. Stand firm. They must remain unmoved, especially in the face of the enemy's schemes. May you be perfect. This perfection is attained through selfless love, although one always grows in it. May you be complete, to be filled with all that we are capable of receiving from Elohim. the beloved and the worldly. Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you. Luke, author of the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, is considered Paul's biographer. A physician by profession, is called beloved by Paul, remained with Paul until his death. Demas, he was Paul's co-worker during his first imprisonment in Rome. However, during his last imprisonment, he deserted Paul, loving this world. If he were only mentioned in Colossians 4:14, Demas would have remained as a faithful collaborator of Paul. The contrast between Luke and Demas became clear over time. Luke was loved for his work, while Demas loved the world and abandoned Paul. Luke remained steadfast in his hope for the second coming in the new earth. Demas loved the glory of this world more than the glory to come. He stopped loving Yeshua and gave his heart to the world. Church leaders, give my greetings to the brothers and sisters at Laodicea and to Nympha and the church in her house. Nympha. All we know about Nympha is that she led a church in the city of Laodicea. We don't even know if she was a man or a woman, since some manuscripts say his house, others their house, and still others, the majority, her house. Archippus. Philemon's son, a native of Colossae, was at some point a companion of Paul. Paul asked him to continue working in the ministry as a deacon pastor or elder of the church in Colossae. Paul asked the Colossians to have his letter read to the people of Laodicea, and for them to read the letter he wrote to the Laodiceans. Therefore, he mentions the two main leaders of these churches, Nympha of Laodicea and Archippus of Colossae. We do not know Paul's message to Laodiceans, although we do know the message that the Apostle John wrote to him 20 years later. Service for Elohim demands the whole being, heart, mind, soul, and strength. Without reservation, we are to give ourselves to Elohim, that we may bear the image of the heavenly instead of the image of the earthly. There must be a quickening of thy sensibilities, that the mind be fully awake to the work to be done for all classes, high and low, rich and poor, learned and ignorant. We are to reveal the tenderness shown by the great shepherd, as he gathers the lambs in his arms, and carefully guards his flock from harm, leading it in safe paths. Messiah's followers are to show his tenderness and sympathy, and they must also show his intensity of desire to impart the truths that mean eternal life to the receiver.